Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another episode of the HIKER'S project. It's a breezy day today. There's clouds out and about. It's very grey, quite dark. It is 9 a.m. where I am, and I'm out for another hike. This is going to be lovely because it's somewhere different, but also the trails aren't too wet, not too soggy, so should be pretty good. Good treading, good environment. It's quite barren because all the leaves obviously have dropped when they're smack in the middle of winter. It's early February. And they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, lovely. It is meant to be cloudy all day, so seeing a glimmer of light like that on top of the hill brings a smile to my face. Beautiful, beautiful moss on these rocks here. It's like a boundary wall covered in moss.
I wouldn't, which is why last weekend I just put my phone away, because I almost want to make a conscious effort to not feel the need to photograph everything.
No, absolutely. I mean, the thing you really want to do, and I encourage most people, is obviously when we get to certain points on these hikes, we do like to photograph them because they're very memorial and beautiful. But mindfulness matters as well,
Yeah.
and one should absolutely bear that in mind, that first and foremost they should be taking advantage of how their mind, body and soul feels when you're out in the woods, in nature. And I know you're not allowed to, but just further down there, well, you can't see here, there's a piece of flat area where I have wild camped. Of course, I left no trace. I left it as it was the very next morning. But just down there, further right at the end of the woods, I've wild camped there. Yews to the right, and then you've got plenty of young beeches to the left. Isn't that amazing? How beautiful is this canopy here?
I mean, for me it's the textures and the colors, right? But this I see often, that like that there's the same tree.
Yeah. It's just the textures on the trees are just
those
beautiful,
colours
and they
those
vary
things.
so much.
That just reminds me of,
You've got that, and then you've got
this
this.
reminds me of a oil painting. And
Yeah.
that reminds me of a watercolor.
Yeah.
That's the way I describe them.
Oh, it's amazing, amazing.
One's an oil painting, one's a watercolor.
I often ask myself, if I was a tree, what tree would I want to be? I have no idea. That's another Austrian pine. It's same. It's even bigger. It's even bigger, that one. Very, very huggable if you're into hugging. There you go. That's gorgeous. I mean, It's a question you need to ask yourself. If you were ever a tree and you could be a tree, what tree would you like to be? Any, as far as I'm concerned, but there's plenty I would prioritize to be. And the yew tree is one of them. Absolutely love yew trees. Very little undergrowth here. It will get pretty thick as the season moves into spring and summer. But you've got all these young trees covered in ivy shooting up to the sky, and as it gets further up it gets thicker and thicker. Beautiful woodlands, great spot for a bit of camping, to be honest. This is a lovely spot. However, I don't encourage everybody to just camp anywhere they like, because it's not legal. But also you have to realize that certain areas are of specific scientific interests, and that's where you don't really want to camp either, because there's a lot of rare plants and species of various vegetation there which could die off based on external factors such as human beings trampling on them, discarding things, etc. Absolutely my kind of wood. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And that you hear in the background, the banging, are gunshots, because as I mentioned, we're not that far from an army barrack. We've just come off the old country lane with hardly any cars on it, and it was beautiful with lots of hedgerows winding all the way up the country lane until we got to this wood. It's an absolutely stunning wood, absolutely stunning. Some ancient trees here, lots of old growth. As you go further and deeper into these woods, we're on a single track, which is probably pretty awesome for gravel biking or mountain biking downhill, but for sure not so much fun climbing up. It's quite steep, maybe 15, 16, 17% gradient possibly. The shapes the trees create in the winter are just as stunning as the shapes the trees would create in the summer, and very different to the shape and the colors you get in the autumn season. This is called a King Alfred's cake mushroom. King Alfred's cake. This small, round, black, fruity body, quite hardy. They're not soft, they're quite strong. They almost look like poop, but they're not, and they're dark, charcoal dark in color. And apparently you can use them as charcoal to burn on a fire, and they will burn very slowly because they're quite strong, they're quite hard. They'll burn very slowly, but they do have a bit of a stench when they burn. I'm not sure you want to cook your burgers or your sausages over a King Alfred's cake mushroom, but that's what we're looking at. It's not too hot, it's not cold. It's around about 10 or 11 degrees, and I absolutely love it. What a lovely thing to do first thing on a Saturday morning. So if any of you feel inclined to get out into nature, to go on a hike, whether a small 5-mile hike or a longer 8, 9, 10-mile hike, check out my website, shamirshah.com. That's shamirshah.com. Have a look at it. See if there's any hike you fancy and come out hiking. Or perhaps you want to go on a hike and camp. I have plenty of hike and camp dates on my website where there's multi-day hike and camp. Or if you want to introduce yourself to some backpacking, there's also 3-day backpacking trips on my website, which is the introduction to backpacking. So small day journeys, you know, about 7-8 miles, and then we stay somewhere, we have a nice meal, wake up early the next morning, have breakfast, and then head out to our next destination, and so on for 3 days. It's fun, it's beautiful, and you get to see stuff like this. Look at these ancient old trees and these beautiful woodlands. Anyway, take a look, let me know what you think. Most people come on a trip and leave with a fantastic experience from all the reviews I've got, so I'm not blowing my own horn. I'm just saying to you, get out into nature. It will help you. Mind, body and soul will feel alive, will feel different, and you'll want to keep doing it. Finally, here are some more snowdrops. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Not as many as I thought we would see, but hey, at least this path has some. Look, new snowdrop shoots. Well, I'm on my final stretch of this beautiful hiking day. I hope you enjoyed everything you've heard, you've seen me talk about. Please go ahead and do whatever you do with these episodes. Share them, follow them, subscribe to them, send them out to your friends if you've enjoyed the episode, and I look forward to being with you and seeing you on the next episode. Did you hear that? The gunshots are still going. Crazy. I'll see you later. Peace.